Hello, so I'm back from Nice, and I did say that I would follow up from my video which I recorded whilst I was there about sales experiences. I had a good one. Oh, well, I had lots of good ones, but I have a particular good one that I want to talk about, and I have a particularly bad one that I would like to talk about. So, as you do on holiday, touring around, etc., we went to a I guess a market area which is called the Old Town of Nice, and if you've been to Nice, you'll know it. And as we were walking through the old town, there was a little nougat shop, and they sold handmade nougat. But the thing about this experience is that, first of all, we had no inclination, no predetermined plan to buy nougat, but we ended up buying over €100 worth of the stuff. Now, I'm in sales and selling, my partner's in sales and selling, and when we came out of that place, my partner's face was a little flushed, and I had to giggle because I just thought, we've just been sold to, but in one of those ways that I always say works. Now, what made us buy over €100 of nougat when we had no intention of buying nougat? Well, it's quite simple. These people that were stood there and enticed us to come in. First of all, right frame of mind. Helps that we were on holiday, helps that we were relaxed, helps that we were open-minded to whatever came our way, I guess. Secondly, it helped that I was a little bit hungry because I decided I'm going to have a taste of this nougat. And I don't know, I'm sure you know, but when you're hungry and you try anything, it tastes far better than what it actually tastes, if you know what I mean. So anyway, this stuff tasted really good. Now, I'm not saying it wouldn't have tasted good otherwise, but it was good. So I think the third thing is that I felt like this person, this woman who was talking to me and selling to me, wasn't really, although she was selling, it didn't feel like she was selling because she was trying to give me the best value for my money. Even though we hadn't even discussed money, the prices were on the board. They were there quite clearly on the board, but we didn't ask about the price. We didn't ask about the price because we liked what she was talking about. We actually engaged with her. We engaged with the product, and in engaging in the product, she came in. Timing was perfect. She came in with, have a little bit of this, have a little bit of that, and maybe you could give it as gifts. But it was more a case of, if you like that one, have that one. I say, she said maybe you could give it as gifts, but actually thinking about it, she only said that after I mentioned it. And the good thing about that is she wasn't clutching at straws or reasons for me to buy it. She was hinging on the fact that I liked it. She just focused on the fact that both myself and my partner, we had tasted this and we liked the taste of it. She hinged on the fact, she focused on the fact that we engaged with her product, and while we were engaged with her product, she felt that was the right time to add value to it, and to add value, what she was doing in a very simple transaction there, the only thing she could do is make me feel I'm getting more for my money. And that's what she did. She said, well, rather than take one big slab of that, why don't you take a little bit of everything, so you get a little bit of everything. Now, it's not going to cost me any different. It would cost me exactly the same to have one slab of one as it would to have that much of each of the other types, you would think. But so with that in mind, I thought, yeah, actually that's good. For me, that seems like better value. So I did that. But when you do that, you probably do buy a little bit more. So one thing led to another. We bought a lot of nougat. In fact, we had to give some away. But it was good, and the overall experience, I have to say, was really good because the fact that the lady that was selling to us was number one, she had us in a very good frame of mind. When you're cold calling people or you're selling to people, that's really what you're looking for. When you're on the phone and you cold call somebody, quite often everybody's, you may think, oh, I've got to close them, I've got to close them, you're not going to close them if you haven't got them in the right frame of mind. To get them in the right frame of mind, you've got to have that conversation and understand where they are right now, understand their situation, read them. Reading people over the phone is far more difficult than reading somebody walking along the street in a marketplace, when you can see what they're looking like, when you can see the body language, and you can see whether they're gonna engage with you. On the phone, it's harder. So the best way to do that is make sure you're in a very open frame of mind. Make sure that you're open to any situation that they could be in right there and then, and be understanding. Secondly, she was engaging in that she kind of hit on something that was, the timing was right. Timing is really key. When you're cold calling, make sure that, time of day, what kind of time, is it the end of the day, is it the beginning of the day, when's best for them. Hopefully you've had, it's not the first call you've made, so you'll have an idea. But if it is the first call you've made, quite often you might have caught them at just a bad time. It doesn't mean they're not interested. So that's quite interesting for me. As I said, I was a little bit hungry, so it was great timing for her. That makes me think, right, my customers need to be a little bit hungry for what I'm talking about. How do I do that? Simple. She gave me a taste of nougat, made me like it. You've just got to give them a taste of what you can do. So think it through when you're introducing what you can do when you're talking to your customer. What can you give them that makes them a little bit hungrier for what you have? And then finally, the kind of value for money bit, and therefore being able to assume that what you're giving is value for money. Again, research, find out what they're all about, make the connection between what you can give, what you provide as a service or a product, and how that can add value to them, so that you can use that as well on the call. So so some connections there to cold calling as well as face-to-face selling. Hopefully that's been a bit useful for you. I found it really, really interesting, but as I said, it's one of the reasons I love my job, is because everything's connected to selling, and the more I'm out there, the more I learn. Okay, speak to you soon.